Hello everyone, welcome to Main Street Magic Designs. Today we are going to make some felt gingerbread Mickey and Minnie's. I already put together Minnie as an example to show you. And I'm going to work on Mickey with you today. You can make this into an ornament, or you can just make it into a little decorative piece. You could add it to a gift because it's very inexpensive to make. It does take time because of all the sewing, but it could make a really cute topper to a gift. You could make it smaller if you wanted. This one is about the size of my hand, but all you need is some tan felt and some dark brown felt, some buttons, and some decorative trim for the icing bits, and something to make a bow. Now for Mickey, if you want to design him the same way I am, like for example, here's Minnie. This is the image I found. It's the same image I used when I did the clay gingerbread ornaments. So that was my inspiration. And I just took this and made a cardstock pattern and used that to cut out the felt. So for Mickey, he has a bow and 2 buttons. So if you wanted to do it the same, you'll need some ribbon to make a bow and some buttons. And obviously you're going to need some embossing thread because you want the thicker. You want the thicker thread so you can see it and so it holds it together well. You also need some stuffing. Just a little bit of stuffing for each one. I also used hot glue for the little icing bits here, and I sewed the buttons and the face on and made the eyelashes with some brown thread. You could, if you wanted, draw this on, the face on. You could use buttons instead if you wanted to. You know, it's really up to you how you want to decorate it, but this is the way that I went. So I'm gonna get started and show you how to do that now with Mickey. So like I said, I found this image on Google Images, printed it out, cut out a pattern from some cardstock, and then I cut out some shapes, and you'll need 2 shapes to be able to make one gingerbread Mickey. I just happen to have 2 here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is decide if you want to sew all of these parts on. And what I would suggest is, if you're going to sew the parts on, then sew the face on before you start to sew the pieces together. The buttons and the bow can probably wait until after you begin sewing, and then the trim icing, I would definitely wait until after you sew all around. Apologies for my dog barking in the background. So to do the face, I actually printed out another copy of, in this case it was Minnie. I haven't cut out Mickey, but it's just pretty much the same. And I just cut out the portions of his face, or her face. That's obviously the nose. So to get the nose, little cheek bits, and I have an eye here somewhere, so that I could trace them onto the felt so that I had the proportions right. The only thing I didn't do that with was the mouth. I just kind of guessed on the mouth, but you can kind of see it's a little bit off from the picture. It's a little fatter and got a little wonky at the end there. but that was the best way for me to kind of get the proportions as close as I could. So I'm going to get my face pieces together and come back to you. So I just cut out my pieces for the face and position them one on the felt. So now I'm just going to stitch them on with some brown thread. And then I'll come back to you. So I just finished stitching all of Mickey's face on and his two buttons. And then I added some pins to hold the felt still while I stitch so it doesn't end up wonky. So now I'm going to get ready to stitch. So now we're ready to start stitching. And I'm actually going to start right here in the shoulder neck area. And I'm going to go between the two pieces. We'll just pull this in there and then tuck in that end of the string. Now I'm using 2 strands of thread, folded in half and knotted, and we're going to do a blanket stitch around the outside, and I'll just show you a little bit of it. So you come up from underneath. That was just my start, so I'll do it again just to make sure it's nice and secure there. Up from underneath, and this time I'm going to go through the loop before I pull it all the way through. Together this morning. Through the loop. Let's see, it'll make that little stitch like that. I like this one because it's easy, it closes it, and also it kind of gives that little bit of edging like the icing would if you were icing the gingerbread cookie, you know, all the way around like it does on Minnie. I like the look of that. It's a little tedious with the length of the thread at the moment, but it gets better as you get going. This could be a good craft for a young child who's interested in doing crafts or sewing. So I'm going to keep going all the way around until I get to the other side, and I'll come back when I'm done that, because at that point I'm going to stuff this half so that it's easier to get down in there to the legs and arms. So I'll do that and I'll come back. Okay, so I got almost all the way here. I ran out of thread, so I just decided to stop there. And so now we're going to stuff the bottom half with some stuffing. And I just have some of this fiberfill laying around. for projects. So I just take little bits, break it up. Of course, you have to take your pins out. Open it up and just carefully add the stuffing. Now you don't want to overdo it, too fluffy, but you do want to fill it in. And I use a pen or a pencil or a dowel rod or something to help shove it down into the smaller areas. You can use your fingers too, since we didn't sew all the way up yet, but I just find it's easier to use the pen or something like that. Get the legs first. Try to make sure you get all the way down into the bottom. More. Now, obviously we won't be able to fill this arm quite yet, but you could stop partway through sewing around to finish that off. Or to not finish it. Before you finish it off, do this arm, maybe once you get here or here, just stop sewing for a minute and stuff it. That way you can really get it in there to fill it up. So see, I got 3 of the 4 limbs stuffed. And this looks full right now, but it'll really come down. As you can see, she's not real fluffy in her tummy, just because it ends up dispersing some after you are done. So I'm going to go back to stitching around the outside edge. Like I said, I'll probably stop about the ear to stuff that arm and then continue going until probably I get past this ear so that I can go ahead and stuff the ears and some of the head, and then well, stuff it really the rest of the way and then stitch it up close. Okay, so now we have our Mickey all sewed and stuffed. And I needed a little bow, so we're going to glue that on like that. And then we also have some decorative ribbon to add to his hands and feet. And I'm going to use hot glue for that as well. Just put it on like that. And then we'll have a Mickey and Minnie pair. Take these off and let's do this bow first. So Mickey's all done, and now we have up here. I think they're really cute. Like I said, you could make these into ornaments just by adding a little piece of ribbon, looping it at the top and putting it on the tree. Or you could add these to gifts by just putting a little ribbon around, maybe around their necks, maybe underneath. Or you could add a little flap on the back and put some ribbon through that. If you wanted to add it to a package, you could just put a piece of felt with a little slot that you could stick the ribbon through and tie it to a package, or you could just maybe tape it on. And you could have them sticking out of the bag. You could do the whole loop idea and then maybe tie it on to the handle of the bag. There's lots you could do. You could put a little elastic band on here and put it on the front of a wine bottle. It's a really inexpensive way to add a little cute Disney Christmas to your tree or your gifts, or just to decorate. I hope you all enjoyed this Disney Christmas craft. I really like them. I think they come out really cute, and I plan to make some more really soon. And I hope that you will come back and see what we're gonna do for our last couple of days of 12 days of Disney inspired DIY Christmas crafts. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.